Today on More Than Home, we have one of DFW's most beloved builders. You're going to love him too. Can't wait to meet him. Maykus Homes.
Welcome to More Than Home. Today we're super excited because we have Eason Maykus. He is the third generation in the Maykus Home company. Welcome to the show, Eason.
Thank you both so much for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. It's
You
really
guys-
an honor, and I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, we're excited. I was going to go down the list of all your accolades, but it's too long. Like, it's too much. You guys are bragging at this point. Like,
I didn't send you any because it's been a while, but no, thank you so much. Yeah, it's a family business. And
yeah, I love that part. So one of the things that we saw was that you guys recently did an interview with Hot on Homes. And we actually pulled that, and if it's okay with you, we're going to watch it right now together.
Yeah,
Check it out.
At Maykus Homes and Neighborhoods, we feel like we've got a vertically integrated process. So when you come in, you're not going to a showroom. You will go to our office at Maykus Homes, and you will be shown curated selections that fit within your budget.
We didn't only fall in love with the home itself, we fell in love with the people too. Just answering our innocent questions, our naive questions. They were so warm and welcoming in answering them and didn't hesitate when we had a silly question.
I've saved more money just on my utilities here than my house payment was in South Lake. Couldn't imagine building with any other builder. There's a lot of big, track home builders. The attention to detail that Maykus does has made me and my family a believer.
I had a call last week from a new homeowner. Said, I think my electric meter, there's something wrong with it. I have a $27 electric bill. They must have just got me for a couple of days. And I said, no, that is what your electric bill is going to be. These homes perform at a very, very high level. I think we've struck a great balance in that we continue to have the high performing aspect of the homes, but they're very aesthetically pleasing.
It's just got a solid feel about it. You know it's going to be backed by people who care, people who are a phone call away or an email away if there's any warranty issues, and somebody who's really striving to be able to build you another house in the future or make sure that the house that you've built with us is a multi-generational house that your kids, your grandkids will have the opportunity to live in down the road.
Well, that's cool stuff.
Thank you very much.
So one of the things that I love about you guys is that y'all build the homes that we saw in that video are at a lower price point than what you see of most custom home builders, but you guys also do the $3, $4, $5, $10 million crazy stuff. Yeah. But you guys are building a quality product at that $600,000 price point, which you don't see anywhere. Tell us a little bit about that and what kind of made y'all decide to go into that side of things.
Awesome observation. So we do come from a luxury background. We've always primarily been a luxury builder. So we've actually scaled it down as opposed to coming from starter homes and then ramping it up to the luxury side. So what that does with our product, doesn't matter if it's, kind of in our affordable line of homes all the way to the luxury side, our same trades and vendors and the guys that work on those homes take the same amount of pride on a $2-3 million mansion as they do in our infill, a little bit more affordable, smaller lots, same amenities, same trades and vendors working on those homes, which I do believe whether it's a second-time Maykus home buyer or third-time Maykus home buyer, we're kind of entering that realm where there's a generational Maykus client, which is cool. But there is an aspect of when they get in, there's a feel to the Maykus homes like that video you saw. And I'm not in a cheesy way, but I do feel like our homes have a solid feel to them as opposed to people in our realm of competition on that lower end because we've come from that luxury side. So,
right.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So on that note, I kind of want to tie it back to how it's a third generation company because it's like a family business. And I think that it speaks to you guys a lot because you do business that way. No matter what the home is selling for, you kind of treat it the same. Do you think that is because you value because it's a family business? It
is. And again, it's our name's on the sign, and so if you ever, not that this happens, but you see your name and there's you want to make sure that that home, and I tell people this, that I'm building this home for you. I'm also building this home for you to resell and hopefully recoup a decent return on that house. I'm also building this home for your kids or even your grandkids. I mean, we're building generational homes no matter what price point they're at. If you talk to my dad, you'll hear him say this, but the third generation is kind of something we advertise, but actually in a way he'll say that it's fourth generation because our family lineage is tradesmen themselves. So back when a home builder was truly a tile setter, a framer, that is in a way what kind of our people came from. So that is in a way fourth generation, no pressure, but
Right.
but yeah, that's.
Well, tell us more about that story. Like, how did your actual company get started? You're saying.
So my grandpa was the first one in his family to get a college education, and that was because he had a college scholarship to Midwestern University.
Yeah. And
he lettered from his freshman year to his senior year, and he came from pretty much abject poverty. And they were sharecroppers. And so he went to Midwestern University, and when he graduated, he was a trusted person. His wife, my grandma Joanne Maykus, her father was the tradesman that I was kind of talking about, where he would lay tile. And one of the things that they would do traditionally for their family was they would build a house for the couple once they got married. Or they would have a house and they would help them fix it up. Or they would do the landscaping after they come back from their honeymoon. And so that just kind of parlayed itself into a construction business. Irving, which we're not far from there now, was a smaller suburb, and there was land. He was a trusted guy, and he would take parcels of land and develop it and build it. Then they would call it Maykus Custom Homes, but that development aspect has always been a part of our business too. And so then my dad took that to a whole nother level after he graduated from Texas Tech. He was going to be an accountant or Reckham.
Oh, let's do it at the
sorry,
same
Hans.
time.
Go
ahead.
Anyone? Okay, cool.
Reckham Tech. Good luck this year in basketball, Coach Beard and the team.
Shout out.
But he took it to another level. He went to school to be an accountant and was going to enter law school, and him and his dad had a falling out about going into the building business because he knew how difficult it was, and his education was probably above that of being a builder. And I've always seen my dad work hard and respect the business. And, when your dreams of maybe playing a professional sport or something kind of go away, and you get into college and your mind starts going and you realize, we've had a really good life that my folks have provided for me. And then I graduated into December of 2008, and then the horrible recession hit. Not a lot of job opportunity out there. And I talked to my dad about it, and I had an opportunity, and I was just happy to have an opportunity and sweeping houses and so forth, and kind of worked my way from, sweeping houses, cleaning houses, learning the business from the ground up, and to where playing a little bit larger role nowadays. And we have a small company, but wear many hats. So whether it is sweeping out a house, a guy that I work with, he is always like, wear an undershirt because your nice shirt, take that off the sweep, things like that. So we all aren't afraid to get our hands dirty, but also try to provide professionalism on the sales side or whatever other aspects of the business you come in contact with. So
well, I love that they made you work your way up. I feel like that speaks to the family aspect of the business. Like, they didn't just hand it over to you. You had to work.
And we could tell from speaking with you the other day, there's a pride of ownership to the houses that are being built that you don't necessarily get with all builders, because you've done everything from the ground up. So that's really cool.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I think your business is going to take off because obviously y'all care, and I know you guys interviewing me, but y'all made some really nice comments, and I can see your family's business growing too. I think you'll have a lot of success. I think it's very daring for you to come to a different part of the Metroplex. If you're out of state or you're relocating, you need to talk to the Three Vine group, but they actually come from the east part of the Metroplex, so it's basically like moving to another state in a way, coming to the west side and getting their business started. So I think that's like jumping off a cliff and taking a huge risk on y'all's part too. So that doesn't go unnoticed. So
yeah,
Well,
no, I
thank
appreciate
you.
that. No,
We did
that's
not
awesome.
pay him to say
Right?
that, FYI.
No,
The table. Another thing I thought was really cool was y'all know clearly everyone in South Lake, Grapevine, Colleyville, that little pocket. Y'all are very, very well respected, well known. And I think one of the advantages that gives y'all is that you might potentially know about something before other people know about something. Whereas, as, developing a neighborhood or lots that somebody might be able to build on. Kind of what's that process if somebody comes to you? I guess maybe at what stage should a buyer come to you, or what does that look like for you guys being able to help them that maybe other builders can't do?
Awesome question. I promise this wasn't prepared, but since we have been in the area for a long time, we moved from Irving to the South Lake area by Old Dragon Stadium off North Carroll in 1994. My dad built that house in 93. So being in the community for a long period of time, and then having a business model and longstanding relationships with involvement in the community, not just on the business side. So a lot of the people that we met from the early 90s, or my folks met from the early 90s to even now, those are family parcels of land. And now the Northeast Tarrant County region is filling in. A lot of the properties that are left are infill. And so those homestead properties, when those folks want to retire or move out to the country, or they might have a relative that needs to go to a facility, a living facility, for health reasons or whatever, and those kids may not want to take that property on. They see the communities and the developments and the homes that we've built over the last 30 years that I think there's not one project that we've done or that I've been a part of or that my dad has done that you would drive by and be disappointed in. Every project that we've done, we're very proud of. And those homes within those projects or the developments, the neighborhoods, they typically sell at a premium compared to the rest of the market. And so the way some of the land that we acquire is through that trust over periods of time, and just rubbing shoulders with people, whether it's at a football game or cheerleading practice or dance lessons or little girls basketball, whatever that is, those people also know other people. They're like, this guy was an honest, seeming enough guy. Why don't you talk to him because you're trying to sell your land? And then a lot of our clients now are that other generation. So they've lived in a Maykus home, or they had a friend that lived in a Maykus home, or their parents lived in a Maykus home, and they know that the quality's there. So they give us an opportunity to build them a new Maykus home. And so, but that's how we get those opportunities. And we don't get all of them, but we sure like having a shot at them. So we can allow people to harvest what they've set on, and they took risks in Northeast Tarrant County and South Lake and Grapevine and Colleyville and the surrounding areas. Their families, stepped out kind of like you guys and took a risk to move their family to those areas when they weren't the tried and true South Lake Carrolls and things like that. And I think they do deserve to get rewarded by a neighborhood builder, developer, whatever you want to call them, to harvest kind of the things that they've worked hard for and move on, and whatever aspect of life that next level is for them, but at least give us a shot at that. So, and that's truly how we feel. A lot of our developments are named after a family member.
That's what I was going to say. You guys kind of keep something.
Kid. A lot of the street names are named after their children or things like that. That's a really cool thing that my dad's inserted into a lot of his projects.
I love that. Can we speak to that real quick, just kind of for my mom? Her favorite movie is Lonesome Dove.
Yes.
So, and I called her after we met the other day, and I was like, you're not going to believe this, but I mean, she knows that Lonesome Dove, a lot of that movie was filmed in South Lake. But I told her that your company developed the neighborhood Lonesome Dove Estates.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And that you guys, all the neighborhood names, all the street names in that neighborhood, they like are tied back to the movie.
Spot on.
Right?
My dad loves that movie, and we do. And if we ever have a Snowmageddon, that's kind of the movie that gets rolled out because it's so long.
Yeah.
And so that neighborhood on the north side of Southlake in the early 90s, the north side of Southlake was on septic. There was not a lot of growth there. The south side was kind of the place to be. And him and I were hitting golf balls in our front yard in the first house by the old Dragon Stadium and shagging balls. There was a for sale sign that had been laid over, and that's kind of how the Lonesome Dove community there. And
crazy.
that was another example of kind of the long-standing reputation of that neighborhood, and some of the houses, they very rarely will be on the market. A lot of them are word-of-mouth sales because there's younger folks that have now moved in there, and they say, look, this is a great opportunity to get in Southlake City, Southlake schools for a reasonably affordable price point. And so that's always been a real pride, point of pride neighborhood for us, and just kind of the Lonesome Dove, the Ogallala Courts, and McCrae Trails, and things like that.
Hat Creek and Powder River.
Hat Creek, Powder River,
I love all that.
That's super cool.
So there you go, Mom.
Yeah, right. So that being said, do y'all do the majority of your business in kind of Northeast Tarrant County? Do you guys step outside of that at all for custom jobs, or where can buyers find y'all?
Primarily, we've done on the outskirts. We have projects in Argyle going right now, in Denton County. Northeast Tarrant County has always been our focus. So right now, with the market as strong and as good as it is, our focus is staying kind of close. We consider ourselves a boutique building company, so we don't have a staff of 30 guys. We have 2 builders and myself that make the rounds to the houses. And so zigzagging outside of that area at this moment in time is really difficult. If there was a client we'd build for, or a friend, or maybe we sit down and talk with somebody that has maybe a lot, build a suit on their own lot, it's not out of the question by any means. If nothing else, I would love to help them and point them in the direction to another colleague or peer, and I always take it as a compliment that they at least ask us. So if we can't do the project, I love when people start with us, whether it's my buddies I went to school with that are building a house in another area. I always take it as a huge compliment that they at least ask us first, like, hey, what do you think about this? Because that may rebound to some business down the road, and we recognize that. So right now, Northeast Tarrant County, Hans, is kind of our focus. But at the right situation, right timing, we may venture out.
I like too that you guys are kind of focused and stuff, but you do a lot of different things. In fact, we have some photos of some of your different work to kind of show the different. Can we? Yeah. So that's amazing. Where's that one?
This is on the north side of Southlake. This that's 100% turf.
Oh wow!
So this is for an orthopedic surgeon, and it actually has a indoor soccer facility for his 4 daughters.
Wow!
And that was a development that we did. It had a lot of pushback from the surrounding neighbors. Those are 1 acre lots. It backs up to core property. It's a beautiful parcel, and that's another one where I believe anybody that would drive in there and see the products on the ground and the homes and the families that are living in there and the houses and the way it's turned out would be really happy with the outcome.
Okay, let's see. This one is adorable.
Yes, this backs up to Lake Grapevine. This is a kind of a cabin lake house vernacular. And it actually is on 1 acre, and that's in Grapevine City, South Lake Carroll ISD. Beautiful home. And that was actually a 3-story house. It's got a walkout basement at the back. So it walks out to, it's got access to Lake Grapevine. So super neat project. Very proud of that home. And that was actually an example of slower times where a client had their own lot, actually had their own architect, and hired us to build the home. So that was, that home was built in 2012, 2013, if I remember correctly. But there's a huge variation of our products.
There's really a couple more just to show the
Yep, that's in South Lake, the north side of South Lake. The something that's interesting about this house is we had a model home in South Lake on the west side, and we built that home. It was a one-off plan, and we were in that model home for about 3 years. This is kind of that was, I would say, the beta version of that house. This is an improved version of that home.
The model home.
Yeah, the model home.
Right.
This is actually the second time we built a version of that home. And this house actually backs up to core property. And I would tell people a little trick is, trust your builder, but everything doesn't have to be a one-off Picasso. These are on two polar opposite sides of the community. And by doing that, if you talk to your builder about your wants and your needs, having your realtor bring you in, and we talk about, if we have a product which is most likely that kind of fits a lot of those or checks a lot of those boxes, that's a great place to, I would say, save money in a lot of cases. But right now, the time, a project like that, instead of having a 12 to 14 month lifespan, you can cut out 60 to 90 days out of that project timeline by going with maybe a plan that we've done in the past.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's almost like just using the skeleton part, and then they can
Correct.
like just
Fill it
already
into
having
their
the
taste.
plans
Correct.
drawn.
Yeah, the bedroom counts, the bathroom counts, the garage counts, some of the important aspects. But there's many things on that home that were much different as far as adjusting walls, sizes of bedrooms. And that price point was a little higher than the previous time we built. So every bathroom has its own ensuite. It has a designated study that's in a different configuration. The front door is a lot nicer version of the front door on the other home. So plenty of options, not really limited in the options and the finish out, as long as we can keep you with in the realm of what you're comfortable with budget wise.
No, that's really cool. I mean, you guys have that entire scope that y'all can do. That being said, I mean, what's something that, and you kind of mentioned a couple there, but maybe common mistakes that you see buyers making when they're going through the process? What's something that has popped up pretty, I guess, common for y'all?
Sure.
Say common one more time.
Another great question. And again, I'm not prepared for this, but there's two things that pop out into my mind, especially in our market today. The shortages and everything. Y'all are dealing with it on a day-to-day basis with a lot more folks than we are. But trust your builder. If Lyndzie and Hans were to bring a client in, there has to be a level of trust with your builder. So not trusting your builder. I think the building industry is getting a lot more sophisticated. So people see that they can maybe purchase something online for, and this is kind of segueing into my other common mistake. They can maybe purchase something online on Amazon or one of the apps. And I'm not saying that those places and times don't have their rhyme and reason. But if you're going to trust your builder, which is a huge aspect, going into it, trusting it, because it's going to be a long relationship, trust their supply chains and their resources, their local resources. And I think that goes to like a realtor. If you're going to come and look at a certain area or segment of the market, you're going to hire a local realtor as a representative for you, right? So yes, a lot of the trades and vendors that we use are local. That is a huge aspect of getting things on time, warranting the things, and we are very conscientious about our warranty on our homes. And if you're going to go buy things and source things outside of the scope of what your builder's providing, just realize there's a lot of things in that price that are missing, whether it's warranty, the labor, the quality of the product, the things that they don't supply with the product that's not making it a complete product when you're buying it.
That's a great point.
So I would say that the two main things, Hans and Lyndzie, would be trust and the supply chain. As we all know, lumber market has tightened and materials in general have tightened. I mean, even ordering things off Amazon, or a furniture place online, whether it's a dining room table or a lamp, those things I think is pretty common right now in the beginning or the first quarter of 2021 to get an email saying that delivery is delayed.
Sure.
And as builders, we're dealing with that too.
Right.
So keeping that local supply chain and the vendor and the trust with your builder is, I think, a total key into having a successful build.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So what I got from that was Maykus is better than Amazon. So I feel
That's
like the people
pretty
need to know.
Jeff Bezos, I did not say that.
That's high praise.
I love
That's high
Amazon.
praise.
So
I love Amazon too. I mean,
Man.
we do too. But just get your building supplies locally from a
Yeah.
trusted vendor.
There you go.
So
Well, it's true, and I will speak to that a little bit. Like, we've done a lot of new construction homes, and like I think I'm not gonna say anybody specific, but every now and then you will run into that where they're like, oh yeah, well we'll supply this, but the tools and things that you need to put it in aren't provided unless you're going to pay extra, and it's just like that's not fair. Like,
Right.
And that's been a struggle for a lot of our clients. So
and the tradesmen that are working on these houses, they, the warranty is part of it, And
Yes.
so being a one call away, and I can't name every situation, but if they supplied that material and they installed that material,
yeah,
our vendor and tradesman relationships go back in some cases longer than I've been alive with our,
That's
and
crazy.
that's the truth.
yeah,
So making a phone call to them and saying, hey, Mr. Tile Setter, this tile, the grout's cracked or whatever. Instead of him, on my way home today, I'm going to fix that. Or tomorrow I have a guy in that area. Well, we didn't supply that. And then it turns into a 2-week or 3-week out
Right.
because, those are good examples. And it's being fair to your local, labor market and trusting them too. I think
yeah,
along with the developer connotation, the contractor home builder deal, same thing with the contractor vendor. Again, going back to our market and our industry being a lot more sophisticated, I think that will help because if you go with that trusted person and you interview people that they've built homes for, that's a good way to know that you're making the right decision because it is a big decision.
yeah.
You're building a home and you're putting your life savings into that home and you're putting a lot of emotion and time into that. So anyways, I think that's really important.
Yes,
So
I totally agree.
No, that's
Such an
great.
emotional thing.
I mean, you guys really do incredible work, and that shows through obviously everything we saw, as well as just speaking with you and the pride, like I mentioned. One thing when we as realtors go out and we meet other people, people come to us and they find out we're realtors. They always ask, "How's the market?" That's what everybody wants to know.
It's the
Basically, like,
go-to
how much can I get for
question
my house if I need to sell it right now? But as far as you being a custom home builder, developer, all of that, all the many hats you wear, when people find that out, what's the question that you get?
When can I move in my house? No, I mean, that's a great question. A lot of it's, well, I would say this, if you're thinking about moving in the Northeast Tarrant region or Denton County, what's available, what's coming down the pipe. People aren't going to find that out on Zillow. Even though Zillow's fun to look at laying in your bed, they're going to find that out from local representation. They're going to find that out from shooting us an email. So the question I would get asked, hey, I've got a young family. We're kind of in our first starter home, our peer groups, we're kind of getting into that starter home or whatever. And people want to get back to South Lake Carroll ISD. People want to live in Cool Grapevine. People want to live in Colleyville and have some privacy. So the question I get is what's coming down the pipe. And some of that is only going to be known by reaching out, maybe setting up a 20-minute appointment so we can show you what projects on the neighborhood side, the development side, are coming down the pipe that could fit your family's needs, from a $460,000 product in Northeast Tarrant County all the way to a $3 million product in Northeast Tarrant County. Going back to that variety of product, I mean, that's truly the scope of what we have. So maybe not a specific question, but where can I go? Because like you guys said, what's the market like? And I've seen a meme on Instagram and stuff, and it's like, remember the toilet paper shortage?
Yeah, right.
Now we're in the housing shortage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think you guys are dealing with that
Oh
hardcore.
man.
Yeah.
And we're proud of what we do. And I love to show off the lots that are coming down the pipe. And I
Yeah.
love to show off home photos in the realm of what somebody's budget is. And I love to show off what we can do for them, for their family, which
Yeah.
is,
Oh,
you're not going to waste our time. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that. So
well,
we love to talk about what we do. So.
And they do. They have a lot coming.
uh-huh.
Can't talk about it. But if you want to find out more information from Maykus, where can we reach you?
Maykus.com is our website. We have an active presence also just on our Maykus Homes Facebook page. It's kind of the day in, day out, less formal, more casual type of content. We also have a Maykus Homes Instagram that kind of has more of the pretties of
Yeah.
what our houses have.
Lots of fun stuff on that.
I heard my dad say this yesterday, and I think this is something that was really cool. It hit home is we have a hard time being more business oriented, and we're more builder oriented. Our
Right.
minds work in a builder sense,
Mhm.
maybe not, and that may be a bad thing for us to grow and become this huge builder, but we do come at things from that family tradition, that relationship driven business model, and that puts us in, I think, the builder category. And you'll hear me
Yeah.
talk more about building techniques, our product, as opposed to the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
And so that's what Maykus Homes is about.
That's awesome.
So
Well, I love that. I think it's a huge advantage.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys very much.
Yeah,
We
for
appreciate
sure.
you. Thank you so much for coming on today. I love your story and your family and
Yeah.
just so glad you came today. It was fun.
I hope we can do something together. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Let's
Oh,
make
we
it happen.
will.
Let's
We
make it
will.
happen.
All right, give us a shout.
Bye.